Hi, I'm Alan van Eyck. I'm the press officer for Team MTN Qhubeka, and right now we're in Lucca, Italy, which is our team's European base. We work out of Lucca, and we chose it as a destination predominantly because it's got amazing training roads, the weather in Tuscany is beautiful, and the riders really enjoy living here. So up to 80% of our team's roster lives here, and most of our staff live here, and it's really an amazing base. So let's take a look around the service course and see what we're all about. So most of the season we're racing 2 to 3 programs, and that's predominantly and traditionally what sort of top level professional cycling does. So they'll do 2 to 3 races at a time, which means you need a lot of equipment for the season, because with crashes and training bikes and racing bikes and spare bikes, a lot of the questions we get throughout the season is how many bikes do you ever get? And most professional teams get up to 200 bikes to use for the season, and that's road bikes, bikes for the cobbles, and also bikes for the time trial. Our bike sponsor is Trek, best in the world. So this year we've used the Trek Madone 7 series, which is the road bike that we've used for most of the season. During most of the Belgian and Dutch classics we've used the Trek Domani, and for the time trial bike we used the Trek Speed concept, which this season has gained us quite a few victories. When we looked around for a bike sponsor a couple of years ago, we found that Trek Bicycle really fitted in with our values, and with the whole Qhubeka project, you know, we're a team that's positive about change. People often come to us and talk about the Qhubeka DNA of our team, and it really isn't just a marketing spiel, it really is about changing people's lives in Africa. And we find that in Trek, they're a company who's passionate about change. They're passionate about supporting athletes at the highest level. They're a high performance race brand. And then they're also passionate about changing people's lives. So when we were going around looking for sponsors, we found that the two really worked well together. The equipment is really high class. This year, with changing up and going to the professional continental level, we brought riders on board like Gerald Cierlik, who's been around forever and who's been on the top teams. We've got Ignatius Konovalovas, who is a 5-time Lithuanian time trial champion. So the caliber of riders who really put the equipment to the test, and they've honestly told us, they've given feedback to Trek that they're really happy with the bike, and it's really one of the best bikes they've ever ridden in their careers. So when we get that sort of feedback from the riders, we're obviously extremely happy. So over here we've got the mechanics workstation, and I'm a press and marketing guy, so I don't know much about tools and spanners, but these things put bikes together from what I understand. Over here we've got our chart sheet for our mechanics. So over in this section they build all the bikes when they're at the base in Lucca for the riders, and we've got each rider's measurements over here for all of the season, so that the rider doesn't have to be here to take his bike measurements. The mechanics have got from the seat post to whatever wheels the riders prefer, everything's on the sheet. We've also got it digitally, so that when they're at a race and there's an emergency and they need to build a bicycle for the athletes, they've got the measurements to perfection. When each athlete joins our team, we do a retool bike fit with them, so we try to get their best possible bike setup on the Trek so that it aids their performance. We save that digitally, and as you can see, we've got a hard copy of it, so it just makes life easier, so that wherever we're racing in the world, if a rider does need a new bicycle, it can be built to his exact measurements and standard immediately. And over here we've got what's part of our DNA of our team. This is the Qhubeka Buffalo bicycle. This bike has been designed by Qhubeka's parent company, World Bicycle Relief, over years to be sort of just sustainable for people receiving the bicycles in Africa, because we find that maintenance is an issue. So they sort of designed a bicycle that basically lasts almost forever. It really is incredible. We've also shipped a bunch of them out to Lucca, where we're based, because in the old city in Lucca, unless you're living there, you're not allowed to drive with the vehicle. So we've got a bunch of them for our riders, and the colors are striking. The yellow, you know, the MTN yellow color is amazing because it just grabs people's attention wherever you go, and they want to know more about the project. So it's really a win-win situation for us. Right now we're in the inside of one of our trucks. It's being loaded at the moment because we're off to a race in 2 days' time. So you can see bikes start filling in. We've got wheels and spare wheels start filling in, and it's just a great way of traveling. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to drive this massive thing, but it's a great way of getting tons of equipment for the athletes to the race, tons of spare equipment for them as well, getting it there safely and nice. And you might like this little souvenir which we've got in the truck, which this was obviously a very special moment and a very special day for us. So we've got this here to remind us that hard work always pays off. For those tough days, I personally like to bring the riders up here to take a look and see and remember the day and know that anything is possible. So this year we set team goals for ourselves. We wanted to win 10 UCI races. We wanted to win national titles, and we far exceeded our expectations this season. We won one of the biggest classics in the world. We got a couple of national titles, and then recently we got a silver medal in the World Championships thanks to Louise Menkes' fantastic ride in the under-23 road race. So right now we're in the planning process for next year. We've already announced the signing of Linus Gerdemann, so we've got a really solid lineup for next year. We're also potentially hoping to make one or two more announcements in the next few weeks. Obviously the market in cycling is really interesting right now with so many teams ending. Unfortunately, there's a lot of riders available on the market, and we've had many agents approach us, but we really believe in the African dream. As far as possible, we'd like to keep our team rostered to 60 or 70% African, and when we make our Grand Tour debut and when we go to a Grand Tour for the second and third time, we'd like hopefully in a few years time, once we've done a few Grand Tours, to have a predominantly African lineup. That's really our dream, which we believe in, and that's a goal that we believe in, and that's what we're working towards now. So our international riders have been a fantastic addition to our team. Their mentorship to our younger riders has just been unbelievable. So we've added Linus, we've got Gerald, we've got Andreas, and then we've got all our fantastic African athletes for next year. And as I said, hopefully one or two exciting announcements to come. So we're hoping for a very good 2014. Obviously there's pressure on us because we've had an exceptional debut year in the professional continental ranks, but we've got fantastic sponsors behind us, we've got fantastic technical suppliers behind us, and we're confident, and there's a really good vibe in the team. So let's see what 2014 holds for Team MTN Qhubeka, powered by Samsung.